Well, we've finally done it. We're on the road again. We've got the titanium in tow, and we're going to go on a bit of a shakedown trip and take you guys along and show you a bit of what we do to do a bit of a shakedown with the new van. We're on our way north to Brisbane. We're going to be at the Brisbane Caravan show. Along the way, stopping in at a few of our favourite little spots. We've done this drive a few times before. First stop is our mate's place. They've got a farm just outside of Lake Ageligo. We absolutely love hanging out on our mates' farms, and Lake Ageligo is just such a good spot for us to just kick back and relax, get used to living in the new caravan and enjoy some time with friends. The kids love getting out and about, riding in the tractor, getting out to feed the animals. While we had the drone up and Mark was out feeding the sheep, we thought we'd have a bit of fun as well. What do you reckon, eh? TLP, got our logo written in the dirt and sheep all around it. You might have noticed as well, it's pretty dry and dusty out here, and we thought what better opportunity than to test out the dust ingress in the van. With the way we travel and the places we plan to go with this caravan, it's imperative that it's completely dust free. And we're happy to report that although this dust is extremely fine, and as you can see there's plenty of it, none of it made its way into the van, which is fantastic to see. After an awesome few days hanging out with our mates, it was time to make tracks. This morning we're on our way to a great little campsite that's just north of Dubbo on the Newell Highway called Yourmundry. Great little rec ground there that has some fantastic camping. If you're travelling the Newell Highway or you want to explore the Dubbo region, highly recommend you jump in there to Yourmundry and check it out.
Bit busier than last time, hey Tom?
A few people in, yeah.
Alright, so we've just arrived at Yourmundry and it's the beautiful little rec ground here. It's one of the cheapest powered sites we know of. It's $10 a night for power or $5 a night for non-power. So we've gone with the powered site and we knew this place was here. We've been up this way before. So we've just decided that this would be a perfect spot to test plugging our new van into a 240 volt system because we haven't actually tested it plugged in yet. So we're just going to be testing the electrical and the water systems while we've got mains water as well. And while we're doing that, I figure it's a good time to catch up on some washing. So we've got a washer and dryer in our new van and it's something we haven't had in before. You definitely do not need a washing machine in a caravan. You can use laundromats in caravan park laundry facilities. We've got the NCE 3 kilo washer, 1 kilo dryer. I think from memory it was only $100 extra to purchase the washer dryer unit compared to the just standard washer unit, and it doesn't weigh anymore and it doesn't take up any extra additional space, so it was a bit of a no-brainer to get the dryer as well for that extra $100.
We absolutely love this little stopover at Yourmundry Recreation Ground. It's just such a chilled out, laid back campsite. The caretakers are absolute legends, and for $5 donation you can grab yourself some firewood and sit around the fire pit. This is something that we don't do enough as a family, is just sit around and enjoy a good fire of an evening, so it was really good to stoke up the fire pit and just chill. And how's this for a sunrise, eh? What a way to wake up. We took a slow morning before we got back on the road, and it was time to start heading north again. Next stop for us is going to be the Warrumbungles. Cannot wait to go and check this area out again. We visited here in 2022, but it was a bit of a rush trip, so it's been on our list for a long time to get back there. Cannot wait to get in and really get in and explore the Warrumbungles a little bit better than we were able to last time. We're so excited to be heading back there, and we've got a bit more time up our sleeve this time, and we thought it would be a great way to test out the diesel heater. Now, although Coonabarabran is the closest town to the Warrumbungle National Park, we were going to come into it from the western side, as we were going to be staying at one of the campgrounds on that side of the national park. So we used Gilgandra as our stepping off point. A quick top up on groceries and fueled up there as well. And of course made sure that the diesel heater had plenty of fuel, because I reckon we were going to need that as we headed into the cold climate at the Warrumbungles. Cannot wait, as we said, to get in there and explore it. Let's go check out the Warrumbungles. The Warrumbungle National Park is about 2 hours north of Dubbo, just off the New Highway, and it's about 5 hours drive from Sydney. If you've ever travelled along the New Highway, you've probably stared out to the west and seen this impressive mountain range as you make your way along the highway. If you're ever in the area and you've got the time to stop in, we highly recommend it. It's one of our favourite national parks in New South Wales. A relatively easy drive from Gilgandra, and we arrived at camp.
All right, tell everyone what's going on.
Well, I'd love to say that this is part of the shakedown. Is like just testing out the new water bladder we've bought and making sure that all works well. Truth is, I stuffed up when we were filling the water tanks before we came out to the Warrumbungles, and I thought both tanks were full, and it only filled the small tanks, and we only had 90 litres of or 85 litres of water. So yeah, we've had to come into Coonabarabran to get a top up of water. Not the end of the world. The kids are going to have a play on the playground, but yeah. Anyway, it is a good opportunity to test the water bladder out. So we bought a 100-litre water bladder for this section of our trip. It just makes it easier to go and get a heap of water in town when we're day tripping and base camping. Anyway, happy days. All part of the fun. Okay, back at camp now. We're going to try and get this water from the bladder into the van. So the plan for that is this little bad boy here, which is a Seaflow inline pump. It's also a submersible pump, so it has this strainer basket on the bottom of it, which means you can drop it into a water source and pump out of it, or you can pull that off and it gives you a barbed fitting that'll fit a 13mm regular garden hose or drinking water hose. So we're going to use that to pump the water from the bladder into the van. So this is good for 280 gallons per hour, which works out to around about 17.5 litres a minute. Just has two little alligator clips on it, so I'll just run it off the battery in the ute to run it. It only draws, I think it draws about 4.5 amps. So for the time that it's running, a couple of amps at the most. We do also have something up our sleeve, which we keep dropping hints to, and I'm hoping to do a video on soon, as to a water filtration system that we're going to be having for pumping water out of questionable water sources, as well as some other ways we're going to be able to get filtered water into the van, which is exciting and something we're looking forward to testing out as well. More on that in videos coming up, so stick around for that. What's wrong? You being chased? Who's chasing you? Is he? He's a rascal. So when we filled up at Yourmundry before we came to the Warrumbungles, I thought both tanks were chockers. Turns out only one was full, and one was empty, but probably just wasn't taking water because I had it on too high a pressure. That's what I think is happening. But the other thing that's happening that added more confusion to the situation is I think that the tanks in our Seamarine display, because we use the Seamarine as our water monitor now in the new van, I think the Seamarine display was hooked up back to front. So I think what it thought was the 85 litre tank was actually the 170 litre tank, and vice versa. So the tank I thought was empty was actually full. Anyway, I think I figured it out. So I've switched the tanks around in the Seamarine display. So there's two sensors, one in each tank obviously, and I just told it that the opposite sensor was for the opposite tank and switched the sensor around. And it seems to have registered that that's working now. So I think I've sorted that side of things out. But basically, when I thought I'd only filled the 85 litre tank, I'd actually filled the 170. The 85 litre tank was definitely empty. I checked that by cracking the ball valve at the bottom of the tank, and it was definitely empty, whereas the Seamarine was telling me it was the other way around. So I've basically just confused the hell out of myself with the water system for the last day, trying to figure it all out. But the short of it is, the pump works well, the bladder works well, and I think I've nailed it down. So this is why we do these shakedown trips to try and figure all this out while it's not a huge drama running out of water or being low on water. We're not too far from towns where we can get access to water. Obviously, we don't want to head out really remote and have these things happen. So this is exactly why we're doing the shakedown trip. Okay, so this is something we haven't done in a long time, and you might have seen this done before, but it's the old chocolate banana in foil. So we're gonna slice the banana, chuck in some chocolate, wrap it in foil, throw it in the coals in the fire, and it cooks the banana, melts the chocolate, and it is magnificent. It's one of my favourite campfire desserts. One of my favourite desserts, hands down, all up. James picked out the chocolate though for this, and he picked out the old caramello. So I haven't done it with the caramello before, but I reckon choc caramel banana is probably not going to be too bad. So we've already knocked up the first one. I'm going to knock up another one, and then the boys are going to do their own. They want to have a crack at it and slice up their own. So we'll do that, and then we'll drag some coals out of the fire and get them cooking and see what the end result is. Anything could happen here. Anything could happen. You gotta have a nice ripe banana, I think, is the starting point, and then it's about cutting into it without going all the way through. You want to preserve the skin on the other side. You just want to. I prefer to cut onto it on the inside curve, so that then you can pry it apart. We can get in there and separate it. Get that, and get a nice cavity in there, just like that. All right. That's where our chocolate's going to go.
Can you put too much chocolate in?
You can put too much chocolate in because you don't really want the chocolate outside the banana too much because it burns. And if you've ever tasted burnt chocolate, it's not pleasant. So about 4 squares, I reckon, is about the right amount. Break them into individual squares. Obviously, you've got to use your boots to hold the banana in between. Stick them in there. Alright, make sure they're all nicely in there. Righto. Decent amount of foil because we don't want it to burn.
That's a lot of foil.
It is a lot of foil. Chuck it in there. Jack Harrison. Dad. I'll be Mum. Then Dad. Over the top. Oh, there's lots of chocolate leaking.
Huh, can I see?
Oh yeah. That's what we're after.
Banana.
Oh my word.
Foil?
Yep, now it's a very sticky mess. You don't seem to be worried.
How do you eat it?
So we're going to go sit down. You might be able to sit down on the mat here so you can see because it's still very hot.
But Dad, how do you eat it?
With the spoon. How is it?
It's good.
It's good?
Yeah, but
Hot?
that's hot.
What do you give it? Out of 10. How good is it?
Out of 10, I'll probably give it an 8.
Oh,
8?
8 out of 10. I'll take that.
An 8 out of 10.
Good
Do you have the best dad in the world?
Because it's just that thick.
It doesn't look great, but it does taste good.
How's the caramel go?
Yeah, you don't really notice the caramel, I've got to be honest. Like, you definitely taste the chocolate and the banana. Don't know that you really notice the caramel. 15 minutes was plenty of time in the coals. I think 10 probably would have done it, but yeah, it's not burnt, it's good.
This is insanely good. I just got a bit of, like, the caramel was on my foil. So good. Oh my god. It's so good. Tomorrow's hike day. 12 Ks plus a little bit because there's a detour. Bread knife. I was really confident a couple of days ago. I was like, yeah, we've got this, you know, we'll just go slow, we'll go prepared. Yeah, so we did the hike to Tara Cave and that was about 3 Ks, and 1K in, James was, my legs don't work, can you carry me? Oh my goodness. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm less confident. I'm a lot less confident that we're going to make it this time around. But we're going to give it a crack. I'm so excited to see it. I really want to make it, but we'll see what the day brings. It'll be what it'll be. We'll see you in the morning. What are you having for brekkie, James?
What are we doing for brekkie, mate? What are we doing for brekkie, Jamesy?
Yummy!
Yummy what?
Yummy! Yummy!
Yummy, yummy.
Yummy.
Pancakes.
Dad, stand there!
He might have had to bribe the kids a little bit this morning, so
Mom, don't spit!
I'm alright with that. Alright, pancakes are up. You ready for pancakes?
Oh, always. Always. Wow. This looks amazing, honey.
We got banana, strawberry. We always carry a bit of frozen fruit with us when we're travelling around. Just keeps it easy when you're starting to run out of the fresh fruit. It obviously lasts forever. So frozen strawberries, a bit of banana, the very last dregs of some Greek yogurt, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Job done. All right, good morning. It is hike day. We are going to tackle the, what is it called? The bread knife. The biggest hike we've ever undertaken. No idea how we're going to go, whether we're going to make it. The boys are excited. Are you excited?
Yes.
Yes. I don't think they've got any idea what they're in for. Boys.
Bread knife!
All right.
You need to get dressed.
All right. Okay, now I need to talk. All right, Lizzie's getting some snacks ready. We're going to take a heap of water. We're going to take 2 backpacks. Obviously, all that camera gear and everything as well. We'll show you all that as we go. What are we eating?
All right, so this is what we've got planned. So we've got, this is like a mum's snack bag because the kids probably won't eat this. It's got carrots, cucumbers and beans. We've got pancakes, we've got dried fruit, we've got bananas, apples, chocolate, about 12 muesli bars, cashews, and wraps. So, and there's also a bag of lollies, and the boys have estimated that they'll get 1 lolly every kilometre. So there's 12 kilometres, 12 lollies each. That's 24 lollies, plus mum and dad's 48 lollies, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Who can count? Can you keep track of the lolly count today?
Yep.
People probably want to know how many lollies do they need to do this hike.
Probably 48 if you've got kids, 24 if just adult.
All right. So the backpacks are not going to be light. So Simon and I probably have about 15 kilos each on our backs with the cameras and the gear. So let's go.
Well, we're a couple of Ks in and so far so good. It's pretty easy going. It's a pretty well formed and relatively flat track, to be honest. It's nice and wide and yeah, pretty easy going. But I reckon it's about to get a little more intense. Anyway, at some point we do know it does get quite steep, so we're pretty prepared for that. But for now, it's just a nice cruise. We're just saying it's beautiful scrub around here. Just walking through, it's lovely and quiet, apart from 2 kids behind us making plenty of noise. But yeah, it's a lovely walk. So the bread knife, like most of the geological features around the Warrumbungles, is the remnants of an ancient volcano. Millions of years ago, this whole area was a massive dome or mountain, about 50 kilometres wide, and was formed by volcanic activity below the sandstone. Then obviously some lava and magma comes up through cracks and holes in the sandstone and makes its way up to the surface and continues to build that mountain. Then once the volcanic activity ceased, over time erosion takes its toll on the mountain. The sandstone obviously erodes quicker than the igneous rock that's been formed by that volcanic activity. And what we're left with is these impressive rock formations, and just makes for one of the most incredible mountain ranges in the country. It's a really, really cool. So the bread knife is one of those. We'll see how we go getting up to it. Like we said, it's going to be a big ask, but we're so stoked that we've decided to give it a crack, because We left it on the table last time we were here. This time, hopefully we get to see it.
So beautiful here. Just, I don't know, the light filtering in through the trees. It's the perfect temperature. There's butterflies and insects and birds. It's really, really pretty here. I can see why it's a special spot. It's so far still flat, which is good because I reckon we're about 3 k's in and it's still just ambling along the creek, which means that at least 6 kilometres return-wise is flat. So that's a win. So proud of you. So proud. We're gonna make it!
Well, if I get these sunnies on my head, no, not gonna happen. Oh, we found the steep bit. Not too bad yet, but I reckon it might still get worse. We've got some steps, we've had some steep paved sections, and now a lot of steps. But the kids are still going, we're still getting there. Proud of them, proud of us. Oh, not an easy one, but I think it's gonna be worth it.
We reckon the boys, especially James, might be the first 4-year-old to do the bread knife. Let us know. If you've got a kid that's younger, leave it in the comments. How old were your kids when you did the bread knife? We're keen to know. They're keen to know if they're the first.
Mind you, we haven't made it yet. But yeah, we're starting to get good glimpses now. The views are starting to really turn it on, and glimpses of the bread knife up there. If you can't tell, a bit out of breath. But that's all right, that's why we do this stuff. Get fit, stay fit. And we got the push-up challenge coming up. If you haven't joined our push-up challenge team yet to raise money for Movember, jump on board. I'll leave a link in the description below. No pressure at all. Do as much as you can. You can always substitute squats and other exercise. If you can't do push-ups, you can do a 50%. Doesn't really matter how much you do, it's all about being involved. And that's what we want to see, is get as many people involved as we can. Let's change the situation in this country of mental health. All right, onwards and upwards, let's go. There's about 13 hikes here in the Warrumbungle Park, ranging from really easy, wheelchair pram friendly 30-minute hikes, right through to multi-day hikes and big sort of 17, 18k hikes. Now, the only thing working against us a little bit on this visit is they are doing some burning off, so there are a few areas that are closed. We are hoping they're going to open again before we leave, but if not, we may have to skip a couple, mainly around Split Rock, which is that impressive rock you can see up behind our campsite. Incredible geology here, the scenery around is just unreal. There's heaps of wildlife as well, both a fair bit of feral animal problems here by the look of it. It's a lot more than when we were here last time. Looks like there's some severe damage by the pigs.
And goats.
And there's heaps of goats around. They have set up some traps, so it looks like they are trying to manage it and do something about it.
And the 2013 fires. So this place, I think, was like 90% burnt out from the 2013 fires that came through. And just to see the regeneration that's happened, even the difference between last time we were here and this time, it's really nice. There's so many options for camping here.
Camp Blackman is the sort of more formal camping, and that's where they have the powered sites and flushing toilets and showers. Where we're staying, we prefer the sort of more informal camping. So we're at Warrumbungle, where there's just drop toilets, fire pits, not much else. It's good to have those options, and like I said, there's hiking, camping as well.
630 minutes to go!
I've got good news, Liz. We've made it 5.7 k's. 630 metres to go.
I'm so proud. I think I'm gonna cry. I just am so proud of these two, and just like how much you can accomplish when you set your mind to it. And I know it's only like the 5k mark now, but we're definitely gonna make it, and we got all the legs to get back. So I'm just so happy. This is something I really, really wanted to do, and really just, challenged ourselves to get here today. So, oh my gosh, 600 metres to go.
I was going to say we haven't made it yet. I wouldn't call it just yet. We've still got to get back, but getting back is going to be so much easier. It's been predominantly uphill or flat on the way here, so obviously back's going to be predominantly downhill. We've definitely knocked over the hardest part, bar possibly this next 600 metres. So let's smash this out, and then we can really celebrate.
I'm not even there yet, and I'm so happy.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Well, after all that, we have finally made it. This is absolutely epic. I don't know what I was expecting, but this is beyond any expectation I had. This, mind blown, this is insane.
Oh my goodness. Look at this view. Oh, that's the top.
Wowee, boys. Hey, high fives.
Made it!
Yes. High five, James. Do it for the camera. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm just so proud of us.
We bloody did it, boys. Yeah. Yes. Best. Is this the most proud you've ever been? What an accomplishment. And you, little boy, little man on his own 2 feet, you did not get carried at all. You did it, mate. You are at the very top of the bread knife. Look at that.
And where's the fifth?
I want you to stand up on there, put your hands up in the air like this. You did it.
Yeah.
Now, we just got to get back down.
I'm crying.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, gorgeous. It's such a big hike for you to do.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you, mate. Oh my gosh. Look at those views. Oh my God. I feel silly crying, but I'm just so happy. I'm so proud of these guys. And look at us here, like at the top of the Warrumbungle Mountain. One of the top 10. One of the top 10 hikes in Australia. A massive 12Ks. I'm just bloody happy. This is perfect. You're amazing, honey. You make this happen for us all the time.
We did it.
Yeah.
What are people going to do if they like the video, Ty?
They gotta like and subscribe and hit the bell.
Yeah, the notification bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see all the new videos.
And leave us a comment.
Yeah.